Las chicas de la generación de nuestros padres
intentaban ser femeninas, ¿me entiendes? Creo que te quedaría genial un vestido. Pero
¿Todo
si
bien?
te,
Ya he acabado, gracias.
si te parece bien, voy a pillar estas sobras.
Definitely, right? I mean, I think I've got friends on dating apps, and I have heard quite often that when they've gone on dates, they do not meet. It's the person's even looks different. But I think so, because you're looking at a consciously created sort of image of some sort because of the nature of it all. I think we're all susceptible to that. I mean, in terms of the light, the filters. I mean, I even the other day, I think I even went around the circle until I found the right light. And I'm like, just take the picture. But it's like, you know, we do it so often. So, and then you kind of meet somebody and it's not, the way we see ourselves, I think, is very different than the way people see us.
Yeah. Well, I totally agree. I mean, I think it is that thing that we curate a version of ourselves for our social media and for these dating apps. And I think then, you know, it means that we also really judge each other, I think, based on that too. And so then when we meet the real person, it's like having to kind of unlearn all the kind of preconceived ideas you've made up about this person, because ultimately, you know, it's what's in the inside that matters. So yeah.
Totally.
And also different people bring out different things in you. Sorry, that's the last thing I was saying.
Of course.
¿Cómo lo haces, Molly? ¿El qué? Salir con gente. No necesitas a un tío, ¿vale? Bueno, no juegues, solo sé tú, directa a la mierda.
¿Vives por aquí? Yo vivo en el pasillo 6. Ha sido horrible.
Bastante horrible. Yeah, I think the film does touch on that a lot, sort of the commodification of female bodies in our culture and how we're kind of reduced to just the physical so often, you know. So I think the film does do a sort of, I mean, it takes that and uses it sort of the allegory to the extreme, obviously. But yeah, I think the film does touch on that, and I think Fresh touches on a lot of sort of social commentary in a very subtle way, which I think is really interesting. And something that really drew me to it as a project.
¿Cuál es su Instagram? Quiero cotillear.
No tiene.
¿Cómo?
Sí.
Ah, no. ¿Lo ves? Eso es turbio.
Vamos a jugar a un juego. Di algo que no quieres que sepa.
Odio esto.
Está bien.
I hope so. I think it's so important that we, you know, as women really support each other and instead of tearing each other down, which we've been sort of so conditioned, I think, to do, to really to support each other and build each other up. And I think Fresh does that so well. It shows the power of female friendships, and that, you know, how much we can gift each other, you know, shared experience, and how that can help us, you know, to when we spot sort of misogyny in our lives, we're able to be able to spot it, you know, point it out because of sharing it with each other. So I think it's really important, and I really love that Fresh sort of celebrates you know, that friendship between Molly and Noah is so special and so like my friendships, and I'm really happy to be able to showcase and celebrate that in the film.
Tía, estás polletizada, ni siquiera he visto a ese tío.
¿Qué está pasando?
Te lo contaré, pero te asustarás.
Well, I mean, I think just contributing, right, to the conversation and to awareness. I mean, that's what, for me, this movie was more about awareness in terms of kind of the way that we project certain things onto ourselves, and this narrative that we grew up with, sort of between kind of that a man is going to come and maybe save the day, and the hero complex, the knight in shining armor. What is strong? What is strength? What is confidence? What are the things that we sort of grow up to fall for because we've been told that since we were kids. And women have been told a certain story. I think also men have been told a certain story of how to be and how to present themselves in a certain way. And it's just, and I think I love romantic comedies, and I love how you know, some of them really do end up in sort of this happy place at the end. But again, what I think what's important is, with this movie, is it just, as long as it keeps, we keep offering different kind of storytelling, so it's not always the same thing, and that we can, that it's true that maybe at the end of the day, the hero is actually the monster, and you know, that we should pay more attention to why we make the decisions that we make, I guess.
Es cuestión de dar, de entregarte a otra persona, de volverte uno con alguien más. Es amor.
I think that's always something like in relationships that's interesting to explore, like, you know, who has the power and when, and the fact that's ever changing and ever shifting. And I think between Noa and Steve, there's definitely that, you know, that is something that really does shift
Definitely
and change
shifts.
throughout the film. Yeah, like I think
For
at
sure.
first Noa thinks she has the power a little, and then obviously doesn't, but then she kind of gets, like, both of them are kind of ambiguous at some point and are nerving each other. And yeah, it's a real ever-changing thing.
Yeah, because in truth, he really she causes him to really fall out of step with a very regulated way of life that's kept him successful at this for a very long time. And it's true that she did manage to get under his skin in a different way. And then I think it's when she becomes conscious of that, that is sort of what helps kind of get to that liberation place, almost going with the flow rather than against it. And then, and the fact that the movie did that felt very different, I guess, than what you'd expect. Because at the end of at those dinners, you sort of kind of, I feel like when you're, as an audience, you sort of at that point, you're supposed to kind of go, why is everyone's acting very different now? And I think that makes it more interesting.
No me jodas.
La fantasía de cualquier chica hecha realidad.